Hi, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We're going to get started in a few seconds. While we're waiting, if everyone could just drop in the chat, say hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your afternoon to join us today. We're really looking forward to this session. If you're currently attending a school and you want to drop that in the chat, I'd love to hear where we're coming from. Greg, thank you for joining us. Right, we have some Bronx in the house. All right. I think we should go ahead and get started. So, Commissioner, do you want to go ahead and open us up?
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us for this community engagement session. I just put my information in the chat. My name is James Hendon. I serve as commissioner for the New York City Department of Veteran Services. And I'm just so happy to have with us, Tanya Thomas, our senior veteran specialist, Nicole Orlando, our director of Veterans Transition. And then behind the scenes working on these things right now is Jessica Lien, our content and outreach specialist, and Curtis Duvall, digital communications manager. We just want to do everything we can to put opportunities on the table where we can share resources with members of the community, both folks who are directly and indirectly tied to our veterans, be it someone who's working with a veteran service organization, to someone with an employee resource group, to an elected official with a strong constituent services operation, to just a individual who would like to just learn about these things. And so we encourage you to take everything that we provide and please share these things with any veteran community members you encounter through your day-to-day activities. And for us, we can be reached at nyc.gov/vets is the website. The email address is connect@veterans.nyc.gov. Our phone number is 212-416-5250. And the social media handle for our agency is @NYC Veterans. There's so much information and so many resources available to our community. We can't do this all in one fell swoop. So for each community engagement session, we try to dig deep in one particular area. By charter, we would assist and inform veterans and their families in the areas of healthcare, housing, benefits, education, employment, and culture. And today we're going to do a deep dive on the topic of education. And so, the only bad question is one that's not asked. I'll turn things over to my colleagues at DVS who will take us through our presentation. We'll have Q&A on the tail end of it. If anyone has questions, do ask. And at the very, very end, after we've done this deep dive in education, I'll come back and open the floor up. If anyone has any other issues or needs that they'd like to just address or bring up in this forum, please, we encourage you to do so. So once again, thank you so much for being with us. Our objective here is to just empower as many people as possible with all the tools that are available for anyone who is a veteran or family member, or for those who interact with or serve veterans or family members. And we thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pass it over to Nicole.
Yeah. Thank you for that welcome, Commissioner. Before I jump into some of the core functions of this presentation and this community engagement session, I just want to pass to Tanya. If there's any welcome remarks she'd like to give, Tanya Thomas is from our team.
Yes, good afternoon, all. It's a wonderful thing to be here with you. I am Senior Veteran Specialist at New York City Department of Veteran Services. I'm sorry, my camera is off because I'm actually getting something to eat. I'm at council member's office today, and we have a busy day. We're out in the community helping our veterans. We're giving resources. We're connecting our veterans to resources. We are also connecting them to claims, being able to submit a good claim. We are also involved in, as my colleague Nicole said, employment services and transitioning veterans. So it's good to be here with you, and I look forward to many more of these.
Thanks, Tanya. All right, Jess, if you'd like to share our presentation, I'm happy to jump right in. Thanks, Jess. And just before we get started, I will say this beautiful presentation you're seeing, Jess has completely designed herself from our team. So I just want to put that out there. All right, so this is our education engagement session from the New York City Department of Veteran Services. Let's jump right in. So thank you again for joining this community engagement session. My name is Nicole Orlando, and I'm the Director of Veteran Transition here. I oversee programs in entrepreneurship, employment, education, transition, and some special events that are all designed to support veterans and military family. So yes, you may get sick of me, but it's okay. It's for a good reason. I began my journey with DVS as an intern in August of 2020. So over the past 5 years, I've had the privilege of building programs and initiatives that help veterans and their families navigate their transition into civilian life, as well as thrive. I'm a proud graduate of CUNY. I graduated from Baruch in 2022. And I'm deeply just committed to ensuring that our veterans and their family have the resources and connections that they need to succeed. And that really does start with education. So education is at the heart of what I do, whether it's helping our potential students find what their next step is, or making sure the student veterans who are in school feel seen, supported, and heard. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me, my background, and what got me here. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and our agency on LinkedIn, where it's a really great way for us to share some real life updates of different programs and services that are going on, especially if you're interested in the employment space or thinking about your next step after school. Happy to always make some connections and talk about that a little bit further. And I believe that our next engagement session will have more of a focus on employment. So I'll be touching on some items today, but we'll be diving a little bit deeper in the next session, which I believe is happening in October. And we'll send out the exact details in case I have that wrong after this meeting. All right, next slide, please. So here's a little bit about our overview and what our agenda will be. So we'll be speaking about our Veterans on Campus initiative. We'll be speaking about VA Work Study, our Student Veteran for Life program, Chapter 31, which actually is an employment benefit, but you will hear it a lot when we're thinking about education in different programs. Different education benefits, some programs offered by SUNY and CUNY, and then a little bit about professional development. So let's get into that. So this is a little bit more about our Veterans on Campus network, which is comprised of our students, student veteran administrators, and our team over here. So on the students' end, we're not just talking about our student veterans. We're talking about the entire military affiliated community. So whether you're a dependent student using your military benefits, maybe you're a spouse who's not using your military benefits from your spouse, but you're here on campus, we want to make sure that you feel seen and heard in this community too, because part of our mission at large is not just to support veterans, but the families, caregivers, survivors, and spouses as well. For our student veteran administrators piece of this, so these are our people on the ground at our over 120 different campuses here in New York City, whether that be the certifying officials that get those benefits into your account, or it's your student veteran admin that you go and say hi to when you're on campus, or your student wellness support staff that are there to make sure that your entire experience is beneficial to you. On our end, we act as that liaison between what's going on, whether you are a student and you want to reach out to us, or your student veteran admin want to coordinate doing different events and services, as well as what's unique to us is that we are not the VA, but we work very closely with them, and we're able to provide different wraparound support services to support you holistically, not just when it comes to education and being on campus. Next slide, please. So let's jump into a little bit about the VA Work Study Program. So this is an opportunity to get paid for a part-time work while you study at school or doing a vocational program or professional training program. And this is really a great way to maximize your VA educational benefits. So to be eligible for VA Work Study, you do have to be utilizing a VA Work Study benefit, whether that be Chapter 31, Chapter 33, you just do need to be using a benefit. And you're able to do 25 hours a week. You do get paid minimum wage, untaxed, for participating in this program. And in January, minimum wage will be going up to $17 an hour. So on top of receiving your housing allowance and to receiving your tuition paid for through your VA benefits, you're also able to work. And we do have open VA work study positions. On our website, there's the different units at our agency that are accepting VA work study positions, as well as I encourage you to look at your different schools and universities, because a lot of our different schools also have VA work study positions available. And I'm always happy to talk through what the different roles are and how you can get connected. Next slide. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is Student Veteran for Life program. And this may be something to think about for your children or just in general. So this program, the way that it works is that you list in the military after high school. You complete your military contract and you receive your general discharge. And we have partnered with some different schools and universities that are on this slide to where you can receive your guaranteed admission to one of these participating schools. So it's just a great way to stay connected with these different student veteran admin during the time that you serve. Because what we know is communication is key. When you're thinking about those next steps for your future from the military, you want to make sure that you're actively speaking with these different administrators to make sure you're on track for when you get out. So this is definitely something to think about as a way to just secure your future from the beginning and from day one. And we're happy to make those connections so that you can stay in contact. So this may be something that isn't applicable to you right now, but we just do want you and your family members to know that this is an option. Next slide. Okay, so now this has seemed to be a hot topic amongst the veteran community, and this is your Chapter 31 vocational benefits. Now, like I said in the beginning, this is something where it is not considered an educational benefit by the VA. What this is considered is an employment benefit, but it has been used a lot at different schools, universities, and vocational training programs because it has to do with employment options that address either underemployment or non-employment. So your disability rating is required. And just to preface this, and I know Commissioner will speak a little bit about this at the end, but we have a full claims team on staff. So if you don't currently have a disability rating, our claims team who are in each borough are able to support you with that process. And because for this, you do need to have a disability rating. What is also necessary for Chapter 31 VRNE, that's a little bit different than your classic GI Bill, is that you do need to backwards prep and plan for when you're going to speak to your VA counselor. I do want to put out there that we are not VA counselors, nor have any influence over the individual VA counselor, but what we can do is help walk you through your plan and also provide the resources in the case that you need to appeal or speak to someone else outside of the VA about your Chapter 31 benefits. This benefit does provide 48 months of eligibility, which is more than the GI Bill. And if you haven't used any educational benefits right now, it is recommended that you use VRNE first before utilizing your GI Bill. There's also different employment benefits that come to with using Chapter 31 through your VA counselor, whether it's needing necessary software to complete the program, whether it's more stipends for books and support, as well as they also connect you with different job training, resume development, and job seeking skills coaching, as well as that's something that we do here separately, even if you're not using your Chapter 31 benefit. So yes, we are able to help give you information about Chapter 31 and how you can get set up for your meeting with them. However, we do not influence those decisions. So I do just want to put that out there. Next slide, please. Okay, so now let's just talk about a couple of more of those benefits, some that we've previously heard about. So that is your Chapter 33 benefit. This is your post 9/11 GI Bill, where if you served on active duty for 90 or more days after September 10, 2001, you do receive this benefit, and there are 36 months of eligibility. That also comes with your basic housing allowance that you were able to utilize when using this benefit. Jess, can you just click forward so they're all there? Okay, so then there's some other benefits also available. So there's your Forever GI Bill, which is expanded eligibility of your post 9/11 GI Bill benefits for reserve duty service members and Purple Heart recipients. And then there's also the Montgomery GI Bill, which is available for those who are in the Reserve or Guard and are actively drilling. The difference with the Montgomery GI Bill is that instead of the VA paying the school directly, it actually gets paid to the student, and there is no housing allowance for that. So for our GI Bill, which is Chapter 33, and VRNE Chapter 31, that does come with a housing stipend. Additionally, here at the Department of Veterans Services, our housing team is able to assist you in finding housing and navigating using that housing stipend. Something else that's important to notice is that the GI Bill benefits does have caps in terms of how much tuition it will cover. Now, recognizing that there may be a school or program that you want to go to that exceeds whatever the GI Bill is able to give you, there is something called the Yellow Ribbon Program. And now certain schools do have to be yellow ribbon schools where they will actually cover the additional school tuition and fees that go above and beyond what the post 9/11 GI Bill covers. So I really recommend that if you're thinking about going to a school or program where the tuition is a little bit higher, seeing if that school is actually a yellow ribbon program to cover those costs so you do not have to come out of pocket for them. There are some great programs here within the city at different schools like NYU and Columbia and Fordham, just to name a few, where you are able to go to those programs for no cost when you're using your benefits because they are a yellow ribbon program. Yellow ribbon programs also help with covering different book fees, and every school operates differently on that. But there are definitely some more benefits with a school being a yellow ribbon program. Okay, next slide, please. So now this is another program that I'm really excited to talk to you about. And this, you do need to have been a New York State resident for 12 months before you're looking to use this benefit. And this is the Veterans Tuitions Award Program, which this award covers the cost of tuition, not to exceed the cost of tuition at a state-operated SUNY. So what this means that in this case, if you're using this benefit and you're going to a school more expensive than the SUNY rate, you will have to pay the difference, but they will cover up to that. And it's not just for your undergrad or graduate degree, it's also if you're choosing an improved vocational training program. And this will cover part-time or full-time study, and it just does have that residency requirement. Something else about the Veteran Tuition Award Program that's a little bit different than your typical Chapter 31 or 33 benefits is that there is no housing stipend associated with this, but this is a great benefit for you to use when you're thinking about, maybe taking that next step of your master's or not wanting to touch your other benefits. It's a great way to take advantage of what the state is offering. Next slide, please. Now, this is a really exciting program, and this is a program that is not specific to just veterans or their family members, but it is a program that I encourage you to take a look at. And this is free community college to an associate's degree for all New Yorkers aged 25 to 55, where you're thinking about these different fields. So there's advanced manufacturing, AI, cybersecurity, engineering, technology, nursing, and health fields, green and renewable energy, and pathways to teaching in shortage areas. So if you're looking to get your degree, your associate's degree in any of these programs without having to touch any of your VA educational benefits, you're actually able through this program to receive that free community college and all the books and fees that come along with it. So this is also known as the SUNY Reconnect and CUNY Reconnect program. Next slide. Okay, so now we're talking a little bit about professional development. So I mentioned at the beginning, leveraging LinkedIn to stay connected. So what we're thinking about is when you're a student on campus, there's a lot to navigate because on top of school, we know that you're also navigating life. And the best way to build that community, to think about what you're going to do come graduation day, is to stay connected to those that you meet along the way, whether that's potential employers, other students, or any professors that you have worked with, because time will come where you need a recommendation letter or you want to follow up with them. It's a great way to keep that all in one place. And it's also a great way to keep up with the different state benefits that come out, because that's also always changing, as well as with us. So I definitely recommend leveraging LinkedIn to stay connected. Next bullet, please. So now this is talking about different employment opportunities. And like I said, we'll have a following session that's really going to dive into the employment space. But there's different programs like the 55A, B, and C programs, which if you do have a disability rating, it's a different pathway for civil service. So that means that if you're interested in working in the city after graduation, these are different opportunities to help you do so quicker than the normal process. And I will say that also for spouses, this is a great way to take advantage of different civil service opportunities as well. And on the city level, you do get a fee waiver if you're a veteran every single exam that you want to take, and military spouses do get a one-time fee waiver. Look, I was ahead of myself there. What else that we support is different support with corporate partners. So if you are a student and you're thinking about, dipping your toes in the water of the field that you're going into, what we are also able to provide is a lot of our different corporate partners have internship programs that you're able to get connected with to really make sure that you're immersing yourself in the different field or space that you're in to be able to leverage that once graduation comes. So I'm always happy to talk about different internship opportunities outside of VA work study that you will be able to take advantage of while you're still going to school. One thing with that is that it's more cohort based. So there are different times where internships open and close and start and finish during the year. So if it's something that you're interested in, it's definitely something to start sooner rather than later. And then we do provide some translation of skills workshops through our Edge for Vets support. So if you're thinking about how tying together what you've done in the military, also with what you're doing with school and what you want to do, this is a great place to just meet with different hiring managers and really learn how to translate your skills into civilian words when you're talking with different hiring managers or different potential internship managers or whatever that may look like. It's a great way to really just ideate about the skills that you have and transferring them into something that's more widely recognized. So that's a little bit about just some of the core programs and services that we offer here at DPS to help you along your journey. I'm going to also talk about some of the different events that are coming up, and we'll also have more down the line, not so focused on education, but just in general. So the first one is a back to school celebration. So this is put on by Service to School, which is a nonprofit that we work with that just ideates about what school you're going to and thinking about different trajectories. And this is a really great place to meet other student veterans who are getting ready to go back to school and are really excited for the semester. And this will be on Saturday, September 6th from 6 to 10 p.m. And it's a great way to connect with your peers, meet people before the semester starts, and really see that even though New York City is big and a lot of these schools are commuter schools, this is a great way to build community amongst one another. Okay, next slide, please. Now, something really exciting I have to share is when we're talking about VA work study information sessions, there's a lot of different city agencies that participate. It's not just us at the New York City Department of Veteran Services. And tomorrow we'll be doing a virtual webinar in conjunction with Small Business Services, who have 3 open positions for VA work study students. So I really encourage anyone who's interested in this coming semester for a VA work study information session to join this to learn a little bit more about what positions are open there. We will, and I know I didn't touch that much on entrepreneurship, but it is another service that we offer. And we do have a Shark Tank-like competition coming up for entrepreneurs. And these internship programs will work very closely with fielding applications and helping with pitch day itself. So if you're interested in the business space or just having a really unique intern experience, I really encourage you to join the information session that will be happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. Okay, and then something else that's really exciting is that with our friends at the Higher Education Services Corp, we're going to be doing a virtual information session. The date is to be determined, but it will be in September, where they're going to be going over the different options for military families in New York State. So this is more concerning different scholarship opportunities that are available. They're going to be going through the different application processes, and it's going to be a great place to really ask the decision makers some questions regarding to New York State educational benefits. So this will also be coming up, and we'll send out the flyer once we have it for this session. Next slide, please. All right, so now I'd love to open it up for some questions, and then we will go through some of the different DVS resources just more in general when we come to a close. So happy to answer any questions that you may have. Feel free to put them in the chat. Curtis or Jess, correct me if I'm wrong. Are people able to unmute?
I don't think people will be able to unmute unless they raise their hand, and I specifically go in and unmute them. So if somebody does have a question, they can raise their hand and I will unmute them.
Perfect. Or you could just drop it in the chat if you don't feel like unmuting. While we're waiting for some chats to populate, I do also want to share that we work very closely with the Student Veterans of America, which is another nonprofit organization that is very helpful in navigating resources. They have a great advisement center to just think about steps altogether, not just here based in New York City, as well as on the individual campuses. You will see different Student Veterans of America chapters as a way to build that community within the student veteran networks.
Perfect, Nicole. And we do have a question, and I'm unmuting them now.
Perfect. I am sorry. Am I not able to hear? Can anyone else hear?
No, I also can't hear. I don't have a name. I just have a string of numbers. But if you could either turn your mic up or adjust your mic, we're unable to hear you at the moment.
And while we just wait for some mic issues or to be dropped in the chat, some question. Okay.
Right, there we go.
Hi, Nicole. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Outstanding. Now, I understand that there was a dinner plan for those people who want to do the go back to school thing, that sort of thing. Can you tell me more about that? Because I mean, you went through that very fast, and so I would like to have information about that. Also, I connected with you on LinkedIn. So in case, you could give me more information about the professional development program that the city has available, I would appreciate that as well.
Yes,
Okay.
of course. So that is the back to school event that our friends at Service to School is hosting. Jess, can you go back to that slide for a second? So this event is supposed to be just more of an informal way to bring different students or potential students together. So it's totally free. It will be happening Saturday, September 6th from 6 to 10 p.m. And this is not just open to New York students, but also students who may be going to school in Jersey. And it is a really informal way to bring all the students together and talk about the semester coming up, network with each other for future purposes, as well as just to really be able to get back into that mode of connecting with other people and getting ready for the semester to start.
Sounds good.
Oh, I don't know if you're still speaking. I think the mic may have cut out. Can anyone else?
Now you can hear me?
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yes.
Right. The VTA is only reserved for institutions in this state. Am I right? Only?
Yes, that is correct. It's also not just schools and universities, but there's also approved vocational training programs as well, where you would within New York State that you'll be able to use this benefit on.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. See, since I connected with you on LinkedIn, I would like more information about that. All
Of,
right.
of course, and I'd be happy to send you over the different application process and some of those approved training programs as well.
Right. Also, I would like to let y'all know, the chat thingy, I'm like muted in the chat. It's not working.
Okay, Curtis, are you able to? I
Curtis,
just
can
can't
you
see
fix
that.
that?
Yeah, I'm looking into it right now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because it's not working. I'm sorry my name isn't on there, but I mean, it's like there was an issue with my Teams. So, I mean, if I can, well, I think I connected you on LinkedIn. If I can't get the chat working, then, well, you can see my name on LinkedIn, Kayode Amins. All right. So hopefully I can hear from you, soon, anytime.
Of course, and I'll be sure to send over some of the stuff we spoke about, and we can always set up some time to explore different professional development and education and employment and everything over there.
Y'all pay for licenses too, let's say like the professional engineer's license in New York State.
So what
Y'all
we
take
do
care of
is
that?
we leverage the support from New York City Small Business Services Workforce One, which actually provides ITG, which are training grants for different programs and services. So I would have to check about that one specifically, but we can definitely explore that.
All right. Sure. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Of course. Of course. So I also see some other questions in the chat about housing services. So the housing allowance is based on the different rates set forth by the VA. So that is actually on the VA website. There's also a great tool called the GI Bill Navigator, which you're able to see different information about schools in reference to how many student veterans go there, and other information about the school and what the housing is in that state, because it is done on that basis. So you're able to see more information about the housing stipends there. But separate of that, our agency does have a housing and support services team that can assist you with if there's other concerns that come up in regards to housing and finding a place to live here in the 5 boroughs. I see there was another question in the chat about Edge for Vets. So thank you for putting that there. What Edge for Vets does is it provides a space for professional networking, as well as a way to meet with different hiring managers and ideate about translating what your military skills were to civilian words to prepare you when you're speaking to different hiring managers and groups about just what you've done and where you want to go by leveraging your degree and your military service. And those workshops happen about 4 times a year. There is one coming up in October, so we'll share the information for that event as well. Something else I want to put out there, and I know there wasn't a specific question about this, but I do want to put out there that there are services that we provide in terms if you're a veteran and your student is in school, whether that be they're in college or if they're still in grade school. We are also here to provide services for that, and that can be found at nycdvs.vetparent. And it's a great way, just if you're dealing with any issues that come up with your children being in school, we're happy to help support there. And we have different programs that run in the New York City public schools, like the Military Family Advocate Program, to help navigate some of those challenges that may pop up. Are there any other questions?
Nicole, if it's all right with you, I'm going to try to jump back in right now if it's okay before we close it out, if it's all right.
Of course. Of course.
Just thank you again for the amazing presentation. Just to double down on a few things that she mentioned, with this focus on education right now, on our website, it's nyc.gov/vetstudents is where many of the resources that were mentioned can be found. So nyc.gov/vetstudents, and I'll be sure to put that in the chat soon. And then just like the last comment Nicole made, for those resources available just to the children of veterans, things that are specific out there, like scholarships and opportunities for your children as a service member. We have on nyc.gov/vet parents, one of our tabs there just says education support for children. And so just flagging nyc.gov/vet students, what's available to you as the student yourself as a vet, and nyc.gov/vet parents. They have a tab that covers different resources and scholarships available to children of those who served. We put a lot of information out just now. If you forget anything, just contact us. Please reach out. You have Nicole's email address. She put it in the chat in Orlando@veterans.nyc.gov. I put mine in the chat. Mine is jhendon@veterans.nyc.gov. And once again, our phone number is 212-416-5250. It's 212-416-5250. The email address, the generic address, is connect@veterans.nyc.gov. Our social media handle is @NYCVeterans. And so there's a lot that we put out now. Reach out if there's anything that you need. And then another point I want to make, remember, this is just one piece of the entire tapestry of benefits available. The top needs that veteran community members engage us about are, number one is housing. Number two is claims, as far as your VA claims and whatnot. And number three is employment. And so for any of those needs, do reach out to us as well. Wherever you are in your housing situation, we can help you, be it someone who is housing insecure, all the way to someone who's looking for an affordable housing opportunity, someone who's looking for home ownership. So we can help there. When it comes to claims, to call it out, a 10% rating is roughly $200 per month tax-free for the rest of your life. A 100% rating can be as much as $4,000 tax-free per month for the rest of your life. And so, we're happy to help you file that claim. And there are other different benefits available on the claims side for surviving spouses, or for VA pension, or dependent indemnity compensation and whatnot. And then for jobs, Nicole, in addition to helping with employment, with education, her jam is to help our veterans who are looking at starting their own businesses, or who are looking to apply for job opportunities, or to get trained up to be able to apply for better opportunities for those looking to upskill. And so please reach out on to any of these fronts. And then last thing I'd say is tell somebody what you learned here today. Please tell somebody. Even if all you remembered is tell them to go to the website for DVS, they've got things to it. Please do that. That means so much. Key problems we tackle in the agency. Only 1 out of 4 veterans self-identifies in New York City. It's about 24.1%. And so we're trying to love on that 24.1, but also the 75.9% who don't identify. That's why we're so happy to have so many diverse groups in this call right now, from the veteran service organizations to community benefits organizations to employee resource groups to elected officials and representatives from your offices. Please, let's bring our people in the light. The other thing that we tackle, the VA doesn't truly market its services. $369 billion budget for the VA, yet nowhere is there a line item directly towards marketing. And so all of us are doing what we can to cover this gap, to make sure our brothers and sisters and their loved ones know about the things that they have rightfully earned. And so we encourage you to please spread the word. Tell somebody what you learned. If you forget everything, just contact us. And thank you so much for taking this time. I want to, pivot to any other final comments and questions folks have. And if anyone has anything that is outside of the boundaries of education, but it's still in veteran services, please ask the question. If there's anything you'd like to say, we just want to have a free space with any issues, any flags, any needs, to just make sure that people can take this opportunity to put them in front of us right now. So, yeah.
And I think we do have a question. Yeah, sorry,
Exactly.
Curtis.
No, you're good. Unmuting you now, Christian.
Hi, Christian.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, perfect. It is that I had a doubt with the Montgomery. How do I is it because I left the service like this year, like on April, but I just don't know too much about it. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd be happy to set up some time to go over some more of the specifics relating to your specific case. I will drop my contact information into the chat. So I will, or if you want to put your email in the chat, I'm happy to reach out to you to just navigate whether it is Montgomery GI Bill, your post 9/11 GI Bill or VRNE that's best for you to use. But I'm happy to go through that with you because it is sometimes more on a case by case basis.
Okay, I see. Does the Montgomery cover DAH as well, or that's just post 9/11?
So that is just post 9/11 that has the
Okay.
housing stipend. Yes. And VRNE also does have the housing allowance as well.
Okay.
So please just feel free to either, perfect, I will reach out to you over email. I see you're able to drop that in the chat. And we can talk about some different
Yeah.
options that could be helpful for you.
All right. All right. Thank you for clearing the doubt for me.
Of course. No problem at all. That's what I'm here for. I see we do have another question.
Hello, you can hear me now?
Yes. Yes, I
All
can.
right, right. Yeah, I'm the guy with the numbers. I can't get
No
my name on
worries.
it. Well, you guys take care of certifications too, right? Let's say if I want to get project management professional certified, PMPC, or let's say data center manager certified. Do you guys help with that?
So we don't help specifically with giving out those certifications or designations, but what we do help with is supporting and connecting you to programs that do.
Yes,
So
that's what I mean.
yes. So we are able to assist with that as well.
Okay. Would that be the VRNE or I don't know who would take care of that? Is there a state program for that?
So
that helps pay
yeah.
for those certifications.
So it may be a situation where VRNE does make sense to utilize, but there are also some, and I would look into this more, of specific programs either offered by the state or other entities where you are able to receive funding to complete those courses that are necessary.
Okay. Great, great. I still can't type into the chat. It's not working. But oh well. I sent you a message on LinkedIn. Connect with me.
Perfect.
Kaya Day Admins is my name.
Perfect. And thank you for reaching out and joining the session.
No problem. I had a few questions and I just needed this to clear, you know.
Of course, of course. And we'll be sure to connect.
All right. Thanks.
Of course. Are there any other questions, comments? I know there was one in the chat about volunteer opportunities. And what I can say is that just separate of different things that come up during the year that we may need assistance with, to directly volunteer with us, there is a food program where we pack HelloFresh food kits on Wednesdays in Canarsie, Brooklyn. That is always open to different volunteers, and we'll be able to drop the link to more information about that program in the chat as well. As well as we have a mission vet check program, which is like a buddy check for veterans where you can make phone calls from the comfort of your own home. And that is another volunteer program that we do manage. So we'll be sure to share information about that. That's something you're interested in as well. All right. And there's also a part on our website, as Commissioner dropped in the chat, where you can see all those opportunities there as well. I do also want to emphasize that our website is a really great place just for some centralized information there, as well as a link to our Combined Arms program, where you can actually request different services through an online platform, and someone with our team will be able to get in contact with you. All right, I think that was all of our questions. And please, that is not just the end. If you do have a question that pops up after this, our contact information to our agencies as well as myself is there, and we're always happy to talk and answer some questions that you may have. I think that's everything from me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time again to be here with us. We appreciate it. Reach out. Like I said, we know there's a lot of information. If you know Nicole, you know us. If you know Tanya, you know us. If you know me, you know us. And so please just reach out if you need anything else. And, we thank you so much for your service. And for those who serve the servants, thank you. Back to you, Curtis, as far as closing us out.
Yeah, that looks, pardon me, that about does it on our end. Thank you so much for attending. Please, again, there's contact information in the chat as well. This meeting was recorded and will be on our website and our YouTube as soon as possible. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. I hope to hear from you all.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye all.